Ladies and gentlemen, grab your popcorn, because what I'm about to tell you might just be the realest fallout in Chicago rap history. Eyes. Lil Durk, the voice himself, just did something that nobody saw coming. After years of loyalty, brotherhood, and street history, Durk has officially cut off THF Bayzoo. Yeah, you heard that right. The same Bayzoo who's been with him since day one. The same guy who had Durk's back through every headline, every beef, every moment in the trenches. Now, he's out. Gone. Wiped from the circle like he never existed. And the craziest part? The streets are saying it wasn't about money. It wasn't about fame. It was about something way worse. Something that cuts deeper than betrayal. Word is, Bayzoo switched up for Clout, and Durk found out in the most humiliating way possible. So what really went down between the voice of the streets and one of his day one soldiers? Did Bayzoo actually cross the line, or did Durk just get too big for his block? Because the whispers online are getting louder. Secret DMs, private recordings, fake loyalty, and a chain of events that could expose everything. Stay locked in, because this story isn't just about friendship, it's about fame, ego, and the ugly truth behind brotherhood when the money hits different. Ladies and gentlemen, this right here is not just another rap drama, this is a full-blown betrayal saga straight out of a hip-hop tragedy. Because when you talk about loyalty, brotherhood, and the streets, there are two names that always used to stand shoulder to shoulder: Lil Durk and THF Bayzoo. But now, that bond has shattered, and it's not just whispers anymore. It's right there on the surface. Unfollowed, unacknowledged, unspoken. The streets can feel it. Something heavy, something personal. See, for years, Durk and Bayzoo were more than just rappers from the same city. They were family. Not by blood, but by pain, survival, and loyalty. These two been through more together than half the rap game combined. From the trenches of Chicago to sold-out stadiums, they built a legacy that felt untouchable. Durk was the voice. Bayzoo, the muscle. The one who held it down when things got dark. The one who made sure the OTF name meant something more than just a logo on a hoodie. But fame is a strange thing. It doesn't just build people up, it breaks bonds, too. And the first cracks started showing when Durk began distancing himself from the noise. He wasn't posting the same crew, wasn't shouting out the same names. While Bayzoo stayed in the city, Durk was out in mansions, rubbing shoulders with billionaires, taking calls from Drake, building a brand that was bigger than Chicago itself. The fans noticed. The blogs noticed. Even the ops noticed. And somewhere in that shift, loyalty started to look a little different. Now, people close to the camp started whispering that Bayzoo felt left behind. He'd been there from the jump, watching Durk's rise from the trenches to the top, but as the fame piled up, so did the distance. No more late-night calls, no more studio sessions like before. Durk was moving different, more cautious, more strategic, but to the old heads around him, that new strategic Durk looked a lot like Hollywood Durk. You could feel the tension building quietly. Little things, like who got tagged in what, who got invited to what show, who got left off what verse. And in this world, those little things speak louder than press conferences. Then came the turning point, the night that started it all. Sources claim it happened during a private event in Atlanta. Durk was celebrating the launch of his clothing collab, big event, influencers, industry folks, cameras everywhere. But Bayzoo wasn't on the guest list. Not even his family. When people asked why, Durk supposedly brushed it off, saying he's busy back home. But insiders claim Bayzoo saw that clip, saw his so-called brother living large while he sat back in Chicago, and that moment hit deep. Within days, cryptic posts started flying on social media. Bayzoo went live, didn't name names, but fans caught the energy. They forget who really held it down when nobody believed, he said. That one line. Just that one. But everybody in the comment section knew exactly who he was talking about. The energy was cold, bitter, real. Now, here's where things take a dark twist. Someone, and no one knows exactly who, leaks screenshots. Messages between Bayzoo and a few mutuals. The tone. Heated. Bayzoo venting that Durk had changed. That he was acting brand new. That OTF ain't what it used to be. Those messages blew up online like wildfire. Durk stayed silent. But silence in this game? That's the loudest response there is. By that weekend, Durk had unfollowed Bayzoo. Just like that. Years of loyalty, gone with one tap, and the fans noticed instantly. Durk and Bayzoo not cool no more. Flooded the comment sections. TF accounts got spammed. Reaction channels made whole breakdowns. Memes started dropping. But the part that made it worse, Durk didn't just unfollow. He wiped the photos too. All the old moments, all the brotherhood, gone from his grid like it never existed. The internet erupted. One fan tweeted, "If Durk and Bayzoo really fell out, that means loyalty and rap don't exist anymore." Others tried to defend him, saying Durk had to protect his peace. But the damage was already done. Behind the scenes, people close to the situation claim things escalated fast. There were calls, arguments, and even a few mutuals caught in the crossfire. One insider told us, Durk told him straight up, "Loyalty ain't about who you was with, it's about who you still stand with when it's hard." And that line, that hit different. Because the truth is, Bayzoo wasn't just some rapper. He was part of Durk's identity. When the streets talked about OTF, they talked about both of them. You couldn't separate one from the other without changing the whole story. But apparently, that's exactly what happened. Now the fans started choosing sides. Some said Durk was just moving smart, that Bayzoo was too reckless, too tied to the old ways. Others claimed Durk had lost touch with what made him real. That he was cleaning house, cutting ties to rebrand himself as a corporate artist. The internet turned into a war zone overnight. And just when you thought it couldn't get messier, leaked audio surfaced, allegedly of a conversation between Bayzoo and another affiliate. In that clip, you could hear frustration, betrayal, and pain. Bayzoo saying things like, he forgot who helped build that empire. The clip spread like wildfire across Twitter, Reddit, and YouTube. Still, Durk didn't respond. Not once. No tweet, no live, no shade. Just silence. The calm of a man who knows his power and doesn't need to speak to prove it. But that silence, it made people wonder, maybe Bayzoo wasn't lying. Maybe something really did go down behind closed doors that broke that brotherhood forever. Because, ladies and gentlemen, when you build an empire with someone from the dirt, and then fame, money, and ego start clouding it, betrayal hits harder than bullets. And from that night on, one thing became clear. The old OTF, the one fans grew up loving, was never coming back. But here's where it gets even wilder, because that fallout wasn't just emotional. There were receipts, revenge moves, and power plays happening right after. And if you thought the unfollow was the end, oh no, that was just the beginning. Ladies and gentlemen, if you thought the unfollow was the end, think again. That was just the spark before the explosion. Because what happened after that? It turned quiet whispers into full-blown chaos across the Chicago scene. Everyone started taking sides, and suddenly the Durk and Bayzoo fallout wasn't just drama, it was a storyline that split the streets right down the middle. See, the thing about brotherhood in this industry is, it doesn't die with a tweet. It dies in silence, in side-eye glances, in who doesn't pull up when it's time to show love. And after that social media purge, people started noticing something else. Bayzoo wasn't showing up at any of Durk's events. Not the shows, not the interviews, not the launches. The man who once stood behind Durk like his shadow was now a ghost in his world. But Bayzoo, he wasn't going to stay quiet. Within a week, he was spotted in Atlanta. And guess who he was seen linking with? Two rappers who have a history with Durk. That clip alone sent the internet into meltdown. Fans were like, ain't no way Bayzoo's switching camps. But the clip looked real, Bayzoo laughing, hugging, taking shots, the energy wild. And within hours, reaction channels were already spinning theories. Bayzoo joins forces with Durk's enemies. Now, here's the crazy part. A few days later, a snippet leaked online of an unreleased Bayzoo track. The lyrics, let's just say, they didn't sound friendly. He rapped about brothers turning fake, about men who change their circle but can't change their heart, and one bar that made fans lose their minds. You can take me off your gram, but you can't erase what I'd done for you. That single bar turned Twitter upside down. Everyone knew who it was about. Blogs went insane. Comments flooded in. And the question on everyone's mind, was this Bayzoo's way of clapping back? But wait, there's more. Because right when the song snippet went viral, an anonymous insider account dropped a bombshell thread on X, Twitter. Screenshots, DMs, and even alleged text messages between Bayzoo and some people from OTF's inner circle. The thread claimed Bayzoo was upset over money, unpaid contributions from early records, unacknowledged writing credits, and even tour cuts. It painted the picture of a man who felt used, forgotten, and left out of the millions being made. The thread read, Bayzoo was the backbone. Durk built the image, but Zoo built the loyalty. That one line alone got over 50,000 retweets. Meanwhile, Durk? Still silent. Not a word. Not a story. Just business as usual, posting fits, promoting his new single, hanging out with major industry names. It was like he'd completely detached himself from the storm. But fans could see it. The smiles looked heavier, the captions shorter, the vibe different. And then, boom, DJ Academics got involved. He went live, dropping his insider tea. He said, word on the block is, Durk told people he's done giving loyalty to anyone who can't move the way he's moving. He's on a different level now. That live alone got over 100,000 views in a few hours. And guess who commented under the clip with a cap emoji? Bayzoo himself. Yeah, he went there. So at this point, it wasn't just unfollowing. It wasn't just subliminals. It was open warfare, digital chess. Every move was calculated. Every post, every lyric, every photo felt like a shot. But what nobody expected was what came next. Someone leaked footage from a private studio session, Durk sitting with two of his close producers. In the background, you could faintly hear him saying, I ain't be fin with nobody I fed. That line, it spread like wildfire. People were like, did Durk just confirm it? And just like that, the speculation became fact in the minds of fans. Now the streets were split, half riding with Durk, half screaming, free Bayzoo energy, even though he wasn't locked up. It became a loyalty war. Playlists got updated. TikTok started trending, and every gossip blog had a Durk versus Bayzoo timeline ready to go. But behind the scenes, things were darker. Some insiders said there were real threats, not just verbal but financial. People pulling investments, cutting collaborations, choosing sides based on who controlled the bigger bag. One producer allegedly told a podcast, if you work with Zoo right now, you might never get a Durk feature again. That line changed everything. The industry started to move differently around Bayzoo. Fewer bookings, fewer appearances. His name slowly started disappearing from big playlists. And that's when Bayzoo went full scorched earth mode. He dropped a freestyle, raw, unfiltered, and angry. No names, but every word dripped with venom. I watched love turn fake when the money came. I fed wolves who turned around and bit the hand. He got the fame, but I got the truth. The freestyle broke YouTube within hours. It wasn't just the lyrics, it was the pain. You could feel the betrayal. The fans were commenting things like, he talking about Durk, no doubt. And Zoo really hurt man. That's pain, not beef. But Durk still didn't respond. Instead, he dropped a teaser for a new single, and the caption read, no explanations needed. That was all it took. The internet exploded again. Everyone was trying to decode it. Was it aimed at Bayzoo? Was it coincidence? Or was Durk playing the game smarter, controlling the narrative without ever saying a name? Because that's the thing. Durk's silence was louder than any diss track could ever be. He didn't need to argue. His success spoke for him. He was on billboards, doing interviews with the biggest platforms, getting major deals. Bayzoo, meanwhile, was fighting for relevance in a system that suddenly turned cold on him. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the brutal part of fame. It doesn't matter who helped you build it. Once you're at the top, you start realizing loyalty has an expiration date. But the streets, they don't forget. And just when Durk thought he'd moved past the storm, a new wave of leaks dropped that would shake everything again. Because one of Bayzoo's closest associates had a recording, one that could expose what really went down between them. And that clip, it was about to go viral. Ladies and gentlemen, if part 2 felt wild, buckle up, because what happened next didn't just shake the internet, it rattled the whole Chicago rap scene. That recording, the one Bayzoo's associate had, wasn't just a random conversation. Nah, it was the smoking gun. The clip allegedly caught Durk and a member of his inner circle talking about tightening the circle and cutting off liabilities. And in the middle of that convo, a voice that sounded eerily like Durk said, if you can't keep your name clean, you can't stand next to me. Once that clip hit social media, it was over. You couldn't scroll without seeing it. Twitter Spaces went crazy. YouTube reactors were dropping 30-minute breakdowns. Some fans were calling Durk fake, saying he sold out his day ones. Others said he was smart, that he was protecting his brand, staying focused, and avoiding another crash-out moment. The line between loyalty and survival suddenly got blurred. Bayzoo didn't hold back either. He went live within hours of the clip spreading, pacing, emotional, visibly heated. He said, "I ain't never switch up. I just stopped chasing somebody who forgot who he was." The comments were wild. Hearts, fire emojis, people tagging Durk like it was a digital boxing match. And right there, live in front of 20,000 viewers, Bayzoo said the line that made the internet freeze. "If I switched up for Clout, then explain who's been eating off my loyalty this whole time." That single sentence hit harder than a diss track. It was pain, pride, and heartbreak rolled into one. Meanwhile, Durk's camp was in full damage control. PR teams, label reps, everyone was trying to spin it. A few blogs claimed the leaked audio was fake. AI edited. But fans weren't buying it. The timing, the tone, everything lined up too perfectly. Even rival rappers started subtweeting, calling out fake loyalty in the game. And then, in the middle of all this chaos, Durk finally spoke. Not on live, not in an interview, but in a bar. A leaked snippet from his upcoming track hit TikTok. The beat, cold. The tone, vicious. And the lyrics, "You fed wolves, they bit your hand, but they forgot who built the table." That was it. Durk didn't need to say a name. Everyone knew. That bar alone became the headline. Reaction videos flooded YouTube. Fans said it was the cleanest, coldest response possible. No drama, just bars. But here's where things get deeper, because this wasn't just ego. It was business. Behind the scenes, both Durk and Bayzoo were being pulled in different directions. Labels, brands, partnerships, no one wanted the smoke. One of Durk's biggest endorsement deals was allegedly on the line, and executives didn't want him associated with any street tension. And for Bayzoo, it was the opposite. He was being blackballed quietly, studio sessions canceled, collaborators backing out, and some venues postponing his performances. It wasn't said out loud, but everybody knew why. You go against Durk, the industry freezes you out. Still, Bayzoo didn't fold. He dropped a vlog showing himself in the studio, talking about rebuilding from scratch. The energy was raw. You could see the hunger, the frustration of a man who felt like he'd been erased from a story he helped write. He even said, "You can't cancel what's real. They just scared of what I might say next." And honestly, the streets respected that. Because in a world full of filters and fake apologies, Bayzoo was being brutally honest. He wasn't chasing sympathy, he was reclaiming his voice. Meanwhile, Durk kept leveling up. New music, new tours, even a few public appearances where fans noticed his circle looked smaller. No more massive entourages, just a few core people, tight and professional. The message was clear, the old Durk was gone. But the internet wouldn't let the story die. Every move got dissected. When Durk posted a photo with a caption saying, "I learned to eat alone," the comment section blew up. He talking about Bayzoo again. Even if he wasn't, the fans made sure the narrative stayed alive. Because that's the truth about fame. Even when the fight's over, the echo never fades. Weeks later, both camps went completely silent. No more lives, no more subs, no more leaks. Just quiet. And that silence, it said everything. Some said they talked privately and agreed to leave it off the internet. Others believed it was way deeper, that they'd never be cool again, but both understood that the money's too big and the stakes too high to keep feeding the fire. And maybe that's what makes this whole thing hit so hard. Because at one point, these two weren't just rappers. They were brothers. They built their empire off shared pain, off real trenches energy. But once the fame kicked in, once the stakes changed, that brotherhood turned into business. And business doesn't care about emotions. Loyalty and money don't mix clean. Not in this game. Not in this era. The story of Durk and Bayzoo is more than a fallout. It's a mirror for what happens when street loyalty collides with celebrity strategy. You can love your people, but once that light hits, everything changes. Suddenly it's about image, reputation, and survival. And sometimes, to protect your legacy, you gotta lose your brother. And that's the part that hurts the most. Because no matter how high Durk climbs or how loud Bayzoo screams his truth, deep down, they both know the same thing. It'll never be like it was. Not after this. Not after all the cameras, the leaks, the subs, the silence. Because some friendships don't end with a fight, they end with a fade. Quiet, cold, final. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly what happened here. The streets are watching. The fans are talking. But behind the scenes, it's just two men who once called each other brother, now living in two different worlds, connected by history, divided by fame. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you even say after that? Because this wasn't just another rapper beef. This was brotherhood gone bad, loyalty turned business, and clout turned poison. Lil Durk and THF Bayzoo were once side by side in the trenches, but now they're standing on opposite sides of the game, looking at each other through glass walls built by fame, fear, and followers. But here's the real question. Was Durk wrong for cutting Bayzoo off? Or was he just doing what any superstar would do when the stakes get too high and the spotlight gets too hot? Think about it. When millions are on the line, when your name is attached to brands, tours, and contracts, can you really afford loyalty over logic? Or does the industry force you to choose between your brothers and your bag? And what about Bayzoo? Did he really switch up for clout? Or was he just tired of being the loyal soldier watching someone else live off the empire they built together? You tell me, because at this point, the line between truth and performance is gone. Every post, every lyric, every no comment feels like a chess move. But here's the thing nobody wants to admit. This story isn't just about Durk or Bayzoo. It's about every artist who blows up and realizes the people they came up with can't always go where they're headed. Some get left behind, some self-destruct, and some just fade into the background like they were never there. And in the end, it's the same tragic loop we've seen 100 times. Two friends chasing the same dream, only for the dream to tear them apart. But here's where you come in. What do you think really happened? Did Bayzoo get greedy for clout? Did Durk sell out for fame? Or is there a whole other side we don't know yet? One that the blogs and sources aren't showing us? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. Don't hold back. Tell me who you believe, who you think folded, and whether this is the end of OTF's Real Brotherhood or just another storm before the calm. And if you're new here, you better hit that subscribe button right now, because this story is far from over. The tension in Chicago's rap scene is bubbling, and I promise you, the next twist in this saga, it's gonna break the internet again. So hit like if you felt that, comment your theory, and subscribe with notifications on, because next time, we're diving even deeper into the truth behind the scenes, where loyalty meets betrayal, and fame turns friends into strangers. This is your boy signing off. Stay sharp, stay watching, and remember, in this game, nobody stays real forever.